My name is Dr. Success Samuel Haruna. I hail from Kogi State. I'm an Igala by tribe. I had my primary education, the Army Children's School, Kaduna State. Had my secondary school education at Ochaja Boys Secondary School, Kogi State. It's a boarding school. And then had my first degree, University of Lagos in psychology. Had my master's in psychology, University of Lagos. I had my Ph.D. in social psychology, University of Ibadan. And right now I am doing master's in international law and diplomacy at the University of Lagos. At the same time, doing master's in criminology and security studies at the National Open University. And I have quite a few certifications in other fields. I just love to read, So I'm an entrepreneur. I am into some businesses. I am into consultancy. I'm into training. I train the Nigerian Army and some banks and some companies, their staff. I am the CEO, the chairman of MD CEO of Success Speaks International. It's a consult and a brand firm. I'm also the chairman of Esperanza Publishing House. I'm also a clergyman. I'm a pastor, the founding shepherd of House of Bliss International Church. For me, I believe that when an organization employs you, they have placed so much trust on you. That's one. Two, you're being paid to do the work. And you should do it as the organization's rule has stated. But we have a lot of employees who come into the workplace and they are not doing the job they were employed to do. So I decided to come up with this handbook, so to speak, to write it in an informal way, not in an educational way. I didn't want to present it like an educational piece, in a practical way that people can just read in a very simple, plain language for them to understand and practical. And don't forget that I'm also an employer of labor. So as an entrepreneur, as an employer, I also brought that experience into writing the book on what I expect from my employees or my workforce. The reason why you still have gaps is because sometimes due diligence is not given from the position of leadership to evaluate the job performances. It's not enough to employ a worker or an employee. It's not enough. There must be systems in place to check the performance of the employee, to know if they actually fit into the job they've been employed into, and to check if they are actually carrying out the task. So it's important for the employer or the organization to have a system on ground that check the employee to ensure that what they're employed to do, they are actually doing it. So that system is very important to be put in place. I will fire you. Straight up. You see, when it comes to this, there is no sentiment attached to it. I employ you to do a job, and I don't need to be looking over my shoulders over you to ensure that you do it, even though there's a system for checks and balances. Yes, we understand that. But then if somebody is not effective and efficient, the person should be fired. Like I said during the interview a while ago, I said a good leader, a good boss must know how to hire and fire. It's a skill that every leader must learn, how to hire and how to fire. And so when you evaluate their job, that's why we have what we call job evaluation. We have job performances. When you evaluate, you'll be able to ascertain the performance of the workforce and determine who stays and who goes. And of course, there are punitive measures that must be put in place, and as well as reward system to ensure the maximum performance of the employee or the workforce. In psychology, when we talk about job motivation, we talk about what we call intrinsic motivation and extrinsic motivation. Intrinsic motivation has to do with the individual being motivated from the inside. He does not need an external factor to be motivated to carry out a given task. He's motivated on the inside, probably because of his temperament, his personality makeup, or his individual perception. He's intrinsically motivated. There are those who need to be extrinsically motivated by external factors. Those are the ones that the happenings in the country or the governmental policies or the economic hardship affect their job productivity because they are extrinsically motivated. They are not motivated from the inside. They are those are the kind of people that you need so much of work on. And that's why, like I said during the news interview, it is important to have a psychologist at the point of recruitment who can ascertain through psychological instrument how to recruit the right people for the right job. Because sometimes we just employ based on academic performance, and sometimes academic performance does not translate into real work performance. So the psychologist will be able to bridge the academic performance and the field or the work performance. It's important. So when somebody is intrinsically motivated, the person does not actually need little or no supervision to carry out his job or to carry out a given task. But those who are extrinsically motivated are the ones that sometimes you will need to just push around and and all of that. So when it comes to emotional intelligence, it boils down to the individual. It has nothing to do with the organization. Because when you talk about emotional intelligence, you're talking about the emotion of the person. It has nothing to do, it is detached from the organizational goals, objective. That's where intrinsic motivation also comes in. Somebody who is emotionally intelligent is somebody that can handle his feelings, handle his emotion, somebody that can put his emotion in check. Even when there is toxicity in the work environment, because he's emotionally matured or intelligent, he can handle it in a very professional way, ethical way, that will not blow up on the organization. So emotional intelligence has to do with the individual perspective. It has nothing to do with the organization. Number one for me is effectiveness. Doing the task given to you as stipulated and done at the right time. There is a right time of doing the job given to you. Your boss, your manager gives you a task and tell you, I want this delivered in 3 days. And I want this done ABC, XYZ. And you do it exactly, at least, please mark my word, at least exactly as you are told to do it. And in the frame of time, if possible, before the time given. That's effectiveness. Efficiency is to do it faster. You're given the job or the task for 3 days. In 2 days, 1.5 days, you have done it. You do it faster. You do it better. That is, you have exceeded the expectation of the organization, your boss or the manager who gave you the task, and you do it better than they expected you to do. That's efficiency. So for me, a good workforce is a workforce that is efficient and effective. Such will deliver anytime. And that's what the organization need to make progress. When the workforce deliver as expected or exceed the expectation of the organizational goals and objectives. A good leader will always have foot soldiers, especially at his beck and call. A good leader does not lack followers, not just followers, good followers. That's why I want to tilt towards the leadership. Everything rises and falls on leadership. If you have good leaders, now, I am not talking about having good bosses. There's a difference between having a boss and a leader. A boss just drives the people, uses the people. A leader is in front, leading the people, directing them towards the organizational goals and objectives, making the people love the work and doing it willingly, not doing it forcefully. See, I tell management staff anytime I have the opportunity to share with them. I used to say this: don't make people love you out of fear. Let them love you willingly. And for you to have people love you willingly, then there must be a humane touch to your leadership skill. It's important. So the top leader, it is for me. If you have good leaders who are strategic thinkers, who are humane in their perspective, who have certain skill sets like patience, tolerance, humility, compassion, empathy, sympathy. You see, these are virtues that you can bring together as skill sets that makes leadership drive the organizational goals with those at the mid and low level, and then you achieve your goals of the goals of the organization. So it's important if the leaders have this virtue. Yeah, you will always have people who want to gravitate towards you. If you have the mid level and the low level, and you don't have leaders, where are they going to? Who communicate the vision of the organization? Who direct the goals and the objectives? Who supervises it? Who comes up with ideas to move the organization from point A to point B? So that's why I tilt towards top leaders. The place of training cannot be overemphasized. Training and development is key to the success of any organization. In fact, it yields high productivity in the workplace. Now, I'll start with the corporate training. It's important for organizations to understand the place of what I call on-the-job training and off-the-job training. Now, on-the-job training will help the organization initiate the workforce into the organizational culture. The organizational culture is important for you to be able to drive productivity in the workforce. All right? Now, but that is impossible if there is no continuous training, on-the-job training. The organization must make room for the staff, for the workforce to be trained at least once in a month. At least, that's what I recommend for organizations, once in a month. And then at least once or twice in a year, must send the workforce to off-the-job training within the country, outside the country, depending on the resources available for the organization. It's very important. The reason is when your workforce, when they're properly trained, they will deliver effectively. When they're properly trained, they will be motivated because they will have confidence in their job deliveries. When they are properly trained, there is nothing like you are effective and then you are seeing the result of your effectiveness and efficiency. So it's important for that corporate training. Now, when it comes to personal training, it's important that the employee take it upon himself not just to gather certification or professional certification, but to go on certain trainings that will help him. Like I tell, when I have opportunities to train employees in companies, banks, and the rest, I used to tell them, don't go after the job, but after the work. There is the work in the job. The job can be taken away from you, but the work cannot be taken away from you. So what you do, you owe yourself the opportunity to train yourself using the resources available to you at the workplace and personally to be able to develop your skill set on the job so you can understand the work. You see, when you build a career over time, by the time you're moving from one company to another, they are not so much paying you for your certification, but they're paying you for experience. Experience on the job translate into the work of the job. So you see employees coming into the workplace and all they're interested in is a job. I want promotion. I want good pay. That's okay. But then they don't take time to understand the job. And the job is the work. You are employed to do the job. While you are doing the job, you are actually working. When you pay attention in the work that is encapsulated in the job, you will go and train yourself so you can be better at it, And that's where promotion comes in, and that's where advancement comes in. You know, there are two different things, promotion and advancement. Career advancement is different from promotion at the job. And salary increase. Better pay package and all of that. Yeah. And greater opportunities. I will start by saying, anywhere you find two people, you find politics. In political science, they tell you that man is a political animal. Anywhere you find two people, more than one person, you find politics. Even between husband and wife, there is politics. Everybody is trying to achieve their end goals. Sometimes through diplomacy, sometimes through aggression and violence, sometimes through manipulation, sometimes through negotiation. There are different means people employ in carrying out politics. So you cannot stop politics where you have more than one person. So that being said, you must understand that in the office, you have different people. In the workplace, you have different people that come together from different cultural backgrounds, different educational background, different perspective, different personalities and temperament, and they are coming together to pursue one goal and objective. So there will always be politics. There are people who want to move ahead at the expense of other people, sometimes at the expense of the organization, sometimes unduly, sometimes they are not even deserving of it, sometimes they are not even worthy of it. But everybody, it is inherent in every human to make progress. And that's where you find politics. But as much as you cannot stop or avoid politics, dirty politics is what is not okay. It's political for me as a member of a team to wanting to make a headway in the organization by going to further my education. Okay, let me give a practical example. 3 of us here, we are 3 in this room right now. 3 of us are employees of this organization. Let's say we are the same level. Let's say level 9. Use that as an example. I decided to go back to school. The office closed by 4. I decided to pick an evening class at University of Lagos to have a certification. While I'm doing that, I'm also online gathering professional certification. Okay? Why you guys go to party, both of you go to party Saturday and Sunday or go to church, I choose to sit down and think 4 hours every Saturday. How do I bring innovation and creativity into the job that is given to me? So we come in on Monday because I have utilized Saturday and Sunday, which is not part of my job description, to bring innovation to the organization. And now I am promoted and both of you are angry? No. You see, that is me playing politics. That's good politics. I want to be ahead of both of you. And I know if I will have to be ahead of both of you, I need to bring something better on the table. And to do that, I need to improve myself. I need to enhance my skill. And that's what I've gone to. That's good politics. Now, on the other hand, bad politics is you decide to start bribing our immediate boss. You take him and buy him lunch. During Christmas, you buy him a shirt and a tie. During Salah celebration, you buy him shoe. You know, you lobby, you go around gossiping, office gossip. You take this person's matter, you bring to him, and then you just want to gain favor, undue favor before him. And so you manipulate your way to be ahead of the team or the group or the other employees. That's dirty politics. You're not playing on a fair ground. So you cannot avoid politics in the workplace. But then, if you have to play your politics, make sure you are on the side of justice, equity, and the right path. I dare to say, any organization that lay holds on this book and give it to their workforce, it will turn them around. This book is practical. And I dealt with issues that some authors don't dare. It's down to earth. So I recommend it for organizations. You know, and few organizations that have they have ordered it for their employees. It is practical. And it's written in such a way that it's tailored fit to any organization. You can read it yourself and you'll see. It's really, really, really good and handy. So I'm a poet, I'm a songwriter, I'm a multi-instrumentalist, I'm an author. I've published over 18 books. You can find them on Amazon, on leading bookshops. I am a novelist. During the lockdown, I wrote a 618-page novel, The Phoenix. I also want to believe I am going to produce movies. I'm a lecturer. I am many things he gives some 5 talents, some 2 talents, some 1 talent, the biblical parable in scripture, So I like to believe that I'm among those he gave 5 talents.